Now, also, as we explained in the series on the crucifixion of the Messiah, Diamba Louis Farrakhan, that's the name of the series, we talked about the phrase giving up the ghost, which was the interpretation of that witness. And that still does not mean dying or death. It means relinquishing or completing an assignment or mission. Thus, Jesus states in communicating with the Father in the Gospel of John, I, meaning Jesus, have glorified thee, Father, on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest to me. Sound familiar? I finished the 40-year course. Does it sound familiar? Then during his crucifixion, Jesus whimpers on the cross. It is finished. They heard him say that. And we've heard him say that. So again, this indicates the completion of an assignment and not death. Now, in the Gospel of Mark, it states, Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also looked for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate, the one in charge of Jesus' crucifixion. And he asked for the body of Jesus and And Pilate marveled, meaning he wondered, if he were already dead. He didn't know. So he called unto him the centurion and asked him whether he had been any while dead, meaning Jesus. And when he knew the truth of the centurion, he gave the body to Joseph. Well, when he took the centurion's word. That's what we do. If you give me your word, that's the truth from you. That don't mean that it's true that Jesus is dead. It means that if I ask you a question and you give me an answer, then I'm confident in your answer. That's the truth I got from you. And that's enough for me to give the body over to Joseph. But that don't mean that what you claim is actually true. But this was this centurion's assessment. Well, was it a correct assessment or was it an assumption? Since the centurion did not take the body of Jesus down from the cross. Joseph took it down, the man who asked for the body. So how could you possibly know if he's really dead if you're down there looking up at him and he whispers a few things and drops his head? He could have just been asleep. But you didn't verify if he was dead. And he didn't. And apparently it didn't mean much to Pilate because he didn't know if he was dead or not. He just knew that crucifixion is a long process. But he wanted to know you can't take the body if he's not dead. Because we want him on the cross until he dies. Pilate didn't know that. But he said, hold on, wait a minute. Let me ask the security guard. And what he told Pilate was sufficient for Pilate to say, okay. Pilate, excuse me. Now let's consider a few things. If Jesus had died, why would it be necessary for the angels to take his physical body? For you who believe in spook gods. Well, what do we mean? In the Gospel of Matthew, it states, after Jesus' crucifixion, and behold, there was a great earthquake. For the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door where Jesus was and sat upon it. But the angel later on answered, because they came and wanted to find Jesus' body, but it wasn't there. Mary Magdalene and others. So he said to them, fear ye not, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified, not killed. He is not there, for he is risen. Now, I think most of us rise every day. Not all of us, because some of us die in our sleep, or we take a nap and don't get up out of it. But if you have went to sleep at night and you can rise in the morning, then you have risen. Now, if Jesus is to exist in heaven as a spirit, why would it be necessary to take his body to the one sitting on the throne? He could just fly up there in spirit. Well, according to the book of Revelation, the Messiah shows up in heaven, and he's standing before the one on the throne as a lamb, looking as though he had been slain, pierced, meaning he was still bearing the price of his crucifixion, which includes the physical injuries of his body.